explosively. 3 people told me off record. 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie. One who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill.
Sheesh, if anyone thought Candace Owens was going to stay quiet after what went down with Charlie Kirk, think again. Candace came back swinging, dropping receipts left and right like she's on a mission. She claimed that before Charlie was unlie, he'd been warning close friends that he was being threatened and was actually scared for his life. Allegedly, Candace even posted what she said were text messages and screenshots from people inside his circle, showing serious donor drama. According to her, some of those big money backers were furious about Charlie's recent comments on Israel and started pulling their funding right after. And that's not all. Candace went as far as to suggest that certain powerful pro-Israel donors, maybe even the whole Israel lobby, played a role in the events that led to his death. She even name-dropped billionaire Bill Ackman, saying he was tangled up in the donor pressure surrounding Kirk. Then Candace hit the feds with a wild accusation, claiming investigators were hiding key info and possibly running a full-blown cover-up. Like, she's basically saying the official story doesn't add up. At all. But the jaw-dropper. Candace claimed that just 1 week before his death, Charlie Kirk had announced a massive audit of Turning Point USA, his own organization. And according to her, that might have put him right in the crosshairs. Then came another curveball. She flat out said the suspect, Tyler Robinson, was framed. Candace even hinted that the FBI could be involved in covering everything up. It's giving full-blown political thriller vibes. Of course, the internet's been running wild with its own takes. Some say this was no random attack, but a professional hit carried out by either a foreign government or rogue insiders from the US. Others on social media are convinced his death had to do with his public stance on Ukraine. And get this, a few people even claim Kirk's death was staged altogether. Their proof? In some viral clips, his ring looks like it switches fingers. Now, most folks say that's just a trick of the light, or maybe the ring was hinged, like one of those that latch open and shut. But conspiracy believers don't want to hear it. They're digging into every pixel, every frame, saying it's proof the footage was tampered with. And to make things even more suspicious, fans pointed out the strange body language of people standing near Kirk during the incident. Apparently, a few were making unusual gestures seconds before the chaos broke out. Something about this whole thing just doesn't sit right. Over the last 2 weeks, Candace Owens has been on full detective mode, promising that the truth will be revealed, the messages will leak, and the movement he built will rise up. And guess what? She actually did it. Candace dropped a screenshot of group chat messages from Charlie Kirk himself, showing him venting about Jewish donors pulling their money after he refused to cut ties with Tucker Carlson. In the leaked screenshot, Kirk reportedly said he'd lost a $2 million donation from a Jewish backer because he wouldn't disinvite Tucker from his upcoming America Fest. That's major drama. And while people online questioned whether those messages were even real, the spokesperson for Turning Point USA, Andrew Vid, stepped in to confirm it. He straight up said the screenshot was authentic. Andrew even admitted he was glad the truth finally came out, but explained he hadn't posted it himself because it was from a private chat. He also added that Charlie's feelings toward Israel were complicated and nuanced, saying Kirk genuinely wanted peace and for the war in Gaza to end. So let's make one thing clear. Whatever her motives might be, Candace did not lie about those text messages. But the story doesn't stop there. Candace also claimed that Charlie Kirk predicted his own death. She said 3 people told her off the record that Charlie had mentioned fearing for his life, almost like he knew something bad was coming. But the wildest part, Candace insists that Tyler Robinson, the guy accused of shooting Kirk, was framed. She's been saying that the official timeline doesn't make sense at all. And honestly, when you look at the details, it does sound a little murky. Here's what reportedly went down. When police started looking for suspects, a man in Washington, Utah saw photos of the shooter and recognized the person as his son, Tyler James Robinson, a third-year electrical student at Dixie Technical College. That same man, after confronting his son, supposedly went to his bishop in the LDS church, who then contacted the U.S. Marshals Service. But according to Candace, most of what came out afterward was not true. Investigators also spoke with Tyler's transgender roommate, who was allegedly in a relationship with him. That roommate told police Tyler had messaged them about picking up a rifle from a drop point, wrapping it in a towel, and watching the area where he'd hidden it. The text supposedly mentioned a scope-engraved bullet and described the gun as unique. Creepy, right? But the evidence kept stacking. Multiple photos and surveillance clips seemed to place Tyler at the scene. Cameras allegedly caught him arriving on campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at 8:29 a.m. wearing one outfit, then reappearing later in completely different clothes around 11:50 a.m. He was seen walking through a grassy area into a parking lot, stopping near some stairs, checking his phone, and heading into a tunnel. By 12:02 p.m., he was seen walking along the north side of the Losay Center, the very spot where Charlie Kirk was speaking just moments later. According to the affidavit, the suspect entered the Losay Center from the southeast and climbed the stairs to the roof by 12:22 p.m., lying flat on his stomach with a clear view of Kirk. Then, 1 minute later, 12:23 p.m., a single shot rang out. Kirk was struck in the neck from roughly 130 meters away. Cameras caught what happened next. The shooter bolted across the rooftop from the south to the north corner, where the ground below was higher, and then dropped off the edge around 12:24 p.m. Investigators found palm prints, smudged hand marks, and even a footprint nearby, showing the person was wearing Converse sneakers. Still, Candace swears the whole thing doesn't add up, saying the timelines, the evidence, and even the witnesses don't fit together the way they should. And now, with her leaks, confirmations, and constant new claims, the question hanging in the air is this: was Tyler Robinson really the one who pulled the trigger, or is this another setup hiding something much darker? Candace Owens isn't backing down. She truly believes Tyler Robinson is innocent, and that the Trump administration cooked up this entire story from start to finish. She's saying every detail, from claims that Tyler wanted to unlive himself to his father's supposed confession, was all fabricated. Candace's argument: the whole thing smells like a setup, and she's not buying any of it. She pointed out something strange. If Tyler was so ready to turn himself in, why didn't he confess to anything? And if that firearm really belonged to him, how come he wasn't even a gun enthusiast? According to Candace, the messages investigators claim came from Tyler didn't even sound like him. She said he doesn't talk the way the texts were written, using formal words like vehicle that don't fit his speech at all. And here's the kicker. Candace said Tyler's own father doesn't believe his son did it either. That's wild. But she didn't stop there. She dropped another major bombshell. Candace claimed a source sent her a video that hasn't been released by the FBI. A supposed door cam clip showing the actual shooter. In that video, she says the suspect wasn't alone. He was with a woman. So naturally, Candace asked the question we're all thinking. If the FBI has already released other footage, why hide this one? What makes this specific clip so special that it couldn't see the light of day? She also called out something else that felt off. The FBI sending Connecticut agents all the way to Utah for this case. Why them? What was the logic behind that move? Candace said the explanation just doesn't make sense. On top of that, she highlighted how every single witness describing Tyler's arrest somehow has ties to law enforcement. According to her, that's way too convenient. Then there's what her insider supposedly told her, that Tyler never even stepped foot on Utah Valley University's campus that day. Yet the authorities claim they tracked him there. Candace thinks the arrest story itself sounds weirdly over-detailed, focusing too much on who helped locate him rather than on the evidence that proved he was guilty. And she's asking why that person's identity is still being kept under wraps, especially if they're some kind of public figure. It gets even stranger. Reports say Tyler was spotted at a Dairy Queen just 17 minutes after the attack. Candace jumped on that detail, saying, "How could a cold-blooded killer stop for ice cream after something like that?" She connected the dots and suggested that maybe Tyler was at Dairy Queen the whole time. and that's exactly where he got framed. And then came her final jaw dropper. Candace claimed that someone gave her insider info about the firearm used in the attack, and what that person told her completely contradicts the FBI story. Like, totally different details, from the weapon's description to how it was supposedly recovered. So now the question is, as wild as it all sounds, could Candace Owens actually be onto something? She's brought up some real head scratchers. Why would Tyler agree to turn himself in, but never confess? Why link a firearm to him if he wasn't even interested in guns? And if there really is unreleased door cam footage showing him with a mysterious woman, why is the FBI keeping it secret? Between her claims about donor pressure, missing evidence, and possible federal cover-ups, Candace has cracked open a wave of doubt that's got everyone second-guessing the official story. Whether she's exposing buried truths or stirring chaos, one thing's for sure, people are talking, and the noise is only getting louder. So what do you think? Could Tyler Robinson really be a scapegoat in something way bigger than him? Or is Candace connecting dots that were never there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more breakdowns just like this.